Hello and welcome to our kindergarten information slideshow. I am Miss Catherine. I am a kindergarten teacher here at St. Bernard School, and I'm here to give you a little more information about our kindergarten program. A little bit about me. This is my 4th year teaching kindergarten, so next school year will be my 5th year teaching kindergarten. It will be my 2nd year here at St. Bernard School. Before teaching here at St. Bernard's, I taught at St. Raymond's School in Dublin, and before that, I taught preschool for 2 years in Danville. I have a multiple subject teaching credential, and I have lived in Tracy for almost a year now. I live in Tracy with my husband, Alex, and our son, Joseph, who is about a year and a half, and our dog, Oscar. This is my personal mission statement. I'll give you a little more information about my beliefs in teaching. I believe in creating a nurturing yet structured environment where students can learn the tools they need to be successful in school. I strive to build a community in our classroom based on mutual respect and understanding of our fellow learners. I realize that each child learns differently, and it is my goal as an educator to create lessons that work for all learning types and levels. I recognize parents as the primary educators of their children and will make all efforts to work in partnership with them. I strive to make this year in kindergarten a stepping stone for lifelong learning, teaching every day as Jesus did with lots of love. Communication is a big part of our partnership in our school year. And this school year, under the COVID restrictions and being remote and then being hybrid and having some friends here in the classroom and some friends learning from home, communication has always been important, but it has been even more important during this time. So a big way that I like to communicate with parents as partners is I like to create weekly newsletters. And currently we've been using Google Classroom, which has been a great platform to keep everything organized and in one place. So every week on Fridays at 3:30 on the dot, I post our newsletter for the following week inside of our Google Classroom. Within that newsletter, it gives parents information on what we're learning, what they might need to practice at home, and what supplies their student will need for the following week. I also have my email address here listed. If you have questions or concerns throughout the week while your child is in my class, the best and easiest way to get a hold of me is to send me an email. This is our current hybrid schedule. So just to give you an idea of what our school day looks like right now. So right now under our hybrid schedule, on Mondays and Tuesdays, those are the days that I have both groups of students. So I have some students learning in the classroom while other students are learning from home, and I teach both groups simultaneously. And I am amazed at what these kindergarteners are able to do. To be able to be independent enough to be learning from home while also understanding that there are other children in the classroom that may need my attention. I'm just amazed at what they're able to do. So just to give you a little overview of what that schedule looks like, those Monday and Tuesday days are the days that I have both groups of children, and the rest of the week as of right now is remote. On the remote days, they do have breaks in between each lesson just to give them a break from being on technology. So we do teach like a regular school day, whether they're in person or online, here face-to-face on Google Meet, and we hit all of our subjects. I've been really surprised at how well the students have done, both in person and online throughout this school year. Our curriculum overview. We have fantastic curriculum here at St. Bernard School. I've really enjoyed teaching the curriculum that we have here at school. For religion, we use We Believe. For language arts, we have California Journeys. For math, we have a new math program this year that I am loving. It's called Envision Mathematics. For social studies, we have Reflections. And for science, we have California Elevate Science. In religion, with our We Believe religion curriculum, we have our units of study. So we start off the school year with learning about the gifts that God gives us. We learn all about creation and the gift of the sun and the gift of the land, all of the gifts that God gives us. Then we learn about God as our creator and that he created all people in his image. We learn about Jesus and how to show God's love to other people. And we learn that Jesus wants us to share that love with other people. So we learn that we're friends with Jesus and ways that we can share that friendship with others. And then we're taught how to go out into the world as disciples of Jesus to spread the good news. Some faith formation information. So along with what we do in class, there are some things that you're going to want to do at home with your kindergartner. So you're going to want to pray with your child daily. Some prayers that we learn in kindergarten are the sign of the cross, Our Father, Hail Mary, the Glory Be, and we also are learning our prayer before meals as well. So those are ones that I do test them on by the end of the school year. So we're going to pray them often in class, but they also need to practice them at home. Some other things that you can do with your child at home is participate in Mass, whether that's going in person or participating online. We do participate in Mass online every Friday. I share it within our Google Meet. So students are having Mass once a week with our class, but they should be going to Mass on Sundays with their families as well. Some information on literacy and how we teach reading in kindergarten. So literacy are the building blocks of learning to read. So when we teach children to read, we start with phonemic awareness, which is hearing the sounds. So hearing all the different sounds that the letters make. And I love that the preschool here at St. Bernard starts with Zoophonics to learn those sounds and to practice phonemic awareness, because that's a tool that I enjoy using in my classroom as well. So we're going to start by hearing the sounds. That phonemic awareness is going to build into phonics, which is understanding that there are letters that make those sounds. On top of that, when you're learning to read, you also have to learn vocabulary words. If you don't understand what you're reading, you can't fully comprehend it. So we're going to learn lots of vocabulary words in kindergarten as well. As we build these tools into reading, it's slowly going to become fluency. So reading with fluency means that we're going to learn how to read like we speak. We don't like to have robot readers. So by the end of kindergarten, once we've learned to read and we're starting to get better and better and better at it, our goal is to practice reading the way that we would speak. So paying attention to punctuation, reading questions like they're questions, and so on. And then we're going to build reading comprehension. And that starts from the very beginning, even before a student can't read, listening to stories and being able to answer questions about those stories. So reading comprehension are the skills that it takes to understand what you're reading or what is being read to you. So paying attention to things like the setting and the characters, being able to sequence stories in the order that they happened, all of those things put together grow into reading comprehension. So what does reading instruction look like in kindergarten? Reading instruction starts with a whole group approach. So all of the students get exposed to the same whole group lessons, whether they already are reading or are not reading yet. They all benefit from that whole group instruction, where we're going to practice that phonemic awareness. We're going to practice our phonics skills. We're going to read sentences together, write sentences together, listen to stories, talk about stories, all of that. Then those things that we learn in that whole group instruction, we're also going to re-teach and look at again in small group instruction. And when we get into that small group instruction, that's where we're going to be able to differentiate where the students that are coming in already knowing their letter sounds and ready to start reading would be in a group together so that they can push forward. And those students that might need some more intervention, more practice, will be in a group together as well so that they can get what they need. That way, all students coming in at different levels can get the reading instruction that is needed for them to continue pushing them forward. I believe in meeting a child where they're at and then making a plan to make the way, to make their way towards proficiency and reading. We're going to use Zoophonics to learn our phonics sounds and to blend words into sentences. And then another great tool that I like to use right at the beginning of the school year is called ABC Boot Camp, which is a 26-day boot camp where we're going to learn all 26 letters and sounds in the first 26 days of school. I love using ABC Boot Camp because for students who already know their letter sounds, it's a great quick review where they'll start identifying beginning sounds and words that start with those sounds. And for those students that don't know their letter sounds yet, the growth that I've seen since starting to use ABC Bootcamp in my classroom at the beginning of the school year is phenomenal. Students that come in knowing absolutely no letter sounds know between 18 and 26, all 26 by the end of ABC Bootcamp. So we're gonna hit the ground running right at the beginning of the school year and build those phonics skills with Zoo Phonics and ABC Bootcamp. We're gonna learn sight words in kindergarten. In kindergarten, we learn 100 sight words. We're gonna do word work where we're gonna build words and we're gonna build sentences using those phonics skills. And this year has been really exciting since we've been using Google Classroom and Google Slides. I've been able to make all of their word work digital, and the kids have been able to learn how to use Google Slides to do drag and drop activities to practice word work. We learn word families, and I do them in the same boot camp style that I do ABC Bootcamp. So we're gonna learn all short vowel word families, and we're gonna learn to read those words as chunks so that we don't have to sound out each sound. We can recognize the word family and chunk those words out. We're gonna read CVC words and CVCE words. So by the end of the school year, we'll be able to read words that have short vowels in the middle and words that have long vowels as well. We're gonna talk about setting, character. We're gonna compare and contrast stories. We're gonna work on reading comprehension, and we're gonna build reading fluency. In kindergarten, we do lots of writing. We do some journal writing. We start with drawing pictures and labeling, and all of that is going to build into these different forms of writing that we're going to focus on in our year in kindergarten. We're going to focus on information writing. We're going to focus on research. We're going to focus on narrative writing, and we're going to focus on opinion writing. We're also going to focus on holding our pencils correctly and forming our letters correctly. I love seeing how much our handwriting can grow throughout the school year. We're going to work on writing uppercase letters and lowercase letters. We're going to focus on sentence structure, so making sure that our sentences have a subject, an action, and a place that it's happening. So a noun, a verb, and a prepositional phrase. We're also going to make sure that we always have a capital letter at the beginning, finger spaces in between, and punctuation at the end. And they're also going to learn about the different kinds of punctuation, periods, exclamation marks, and question marks. In math, we're going to focus on number sense. So Envision Mathematics is Common Core curriculum. And so it starts with number sense. And number sense is understanding that every single number is represented by a symbol and a quantity. So not just understanding that I have 5 fingers, but knowing that I can see the number 5 as a number, as a numeral, as a picture. And we're going to learn how to do all of those things. We're also going to use tenframes, counters, cubes, bears, all sorts of strategies to learn how to go in depth with number. We're going to learn about the relationships between numbers. We're going to learn how to solve real life mathematical problems, so focusing on word problems and critical thinking. We're going to know how numbers can be composed and decomposed, or put together and taken apart, or addition and subtraction. And we're going to learn those operations, and we're also going to learn how to recognize when to use which one within word problems. Envision Mathematics is a fantastic program that has great online content as well. Every lesson has videos that go along with it. We're going to use math tools, and we're going to learn lots of different math strategies to solve a problem. We're going to focus on number sense and number patterns. We're going to use addition and subtraction, critical thinking, and word problems. We're going to learn vocabulary words like fewer, more, and the same. At the end of the school year, we focus on 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional shapes. We're going to count to 100 by 1s and by 10s. We're going to do some graphing. We're going to look at patterns. We're even going to look a little bit at time. Assessments. I assess all throughout the school year, almost every day. There's different kinds of assessment. There's formative assessment, which is a little more casual. It might be something simple, like while I'm teaching a lesson, I just check for understanding. Do we get it? Are we not getting it? Do we need to do it again? And we have summative assessments, which is going to be like an end of unit test. Many assessments in kindergarten have to be done one-on-one, and this school year I've been doing them here on Google Meet. Our goal is always going to be proficiency. So the reason that I want to assess often is so that I can see which students are understanding and which students are not understanding yet. And then I can take that data and that information, and that can inform my instruction. Do I need to go reteach this entire lesson because the whole class is not grasping the concept? Or do I just need to make flexible grouping for that small group instruction? So that assessment is going to lead to the differentiation and the flexible groups that I'm going to use in small groups to continue to push our class forward. Social skills. A lot of kindergarten has to do with our social skills. And one of the hardest things that we've had this year, as we've been apart from each other and doing school in a different way, is making sure that we're still meeting those social skills goals. A big part of kindergarten, on top of all the academics and wonderful things that we learn, is just learning how to be in a classroom with a lot of other people that also have big needs. So understanding that someone is not always going to be able to help me that moment that I need help. So understanding that and then learning how to express those feelings and needs in a positive and appropriate way. Something we've really had to focus on this year is understanding that I have a group of students here on my screen, and then I have a completely different group of students in the classroom. So having the students understand that there's that balance too, and sometimes we have to be patient and wait before our question can be answered. We're going to learn about following rules. We're going to learn how to transition from one lesson to another. And most importantly, we're going to build a community inside of our classroom. We're all friends here at St. Bernard's, and we're going to make sure that we're seeing Jesus in other people and treating the other people in our class the way that we want to be treated. And we're also going to learn about having a growth mindset. So understanding that I just haven't learned it yet. It's not that I can't do it, it's that I just haven't learned it yet. Here's a little bit of information on having a growth mindset. I find that this is really important for kindergarteners. It can be hard when you have big feelings inside and you just want to be able to do something right away, like tying your shoes or reading a book, whatever it might be. And so to help put that frustration away, we're going to change our mindset. And instead of saying, I can't do this, we're going to say, I can't do this yet. I'm not good at this yet. I don't understand this yet. That yet is very powerful, and it can help us stop feeling frustrated and work towards finding a solution to help us learn how to do the thing that we can't do yet. Some goals that we try to reach by the end of the school year. We're going to build that close relationship with Jesus. We're going to develop a lifelong love of learning. We're going to build a strong foundation for reading, writing, and math. We're going to have that growth mindset. We're going to be in charge of our own choices and of our learning, because we're going to build independent students here in kindergarten. And we're going to build a community within our classroom, but within our school and within our parish. Just a little bit of information about things that you can be doing at home with your child to help get them ready for kindergarten. We want to make sure that when they come into kindergarten, they can write their own name independently. You want to practice their phone number, their address, and their birthday. Those are things that I do test on in kindergarten as well. We're going to be able to identify some patterns. If we can do that before we come into kindergarten, that's great. You should identify your colors. You definitely need to practice using scissors. Very important. This school year has been a little bit tricky with that since we started the school year completely virtual. I've had to rely on parents a lot to help with holding scissors properly. So practice that at home. Identifying some shapes, writing some letters, being able to match uppercase and lowercase letters together, identifying lowercase and uppercase letters, counting to at least 20, rhyming some familiar words, practice writing your numbers to 10, counting objects in different groups, being able to sit and read a book with a parent. So making sure that we know that when we're listening to a story, we can sit and we can listen to the whole story and maybe even answer some questions about it at the end. We're going to use comparative words like big and small. We're going to identify position, direction concepts, so understanding above, under, next to, and being able to sequence a story. So being able to take pictures of a story and put them in the correct order. So those are some things that you can practice at home to get ready for kindergarten. I hope that you enjoyed this presentation and that you are as excited about kindergarten next year as I am. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, and there'll be some information on how you can get those questions to me. I'm looking forward to seeing you and hopefully having your family be a part of our kindergarten community next school year. God bless and have a great day.